Number 9 is Tsuneo Iwami. This fuck nugget piece of shit, if I ever met a character so goddamn repugnant.
Yeah, these guys didn't want Iwami on the list, let alone as high as he is on the ranking, but he's here now. Iwami is another character from Yakuza 6. He is the antagonist in this story. Like Shibusawa from Yakuza 0, he was aligning everything perfectly in a way that suited him. But, unlike Shibusawa, he had plenty of screen time, like the most boring and average son of a notorious Yakuza he is. When you first see him, he doesn't really seem that noteworthy, considering that he's just a civilian. It isn't until the climax of the game's events that he is revealed to be pulling a lot of strings, and that he also got in a favor with another string puller by the name of Minoru Daidoji.
Iwami made a new deal with Daidoji, which meant killing his fucked up Yakuza father. This all stemmed from years of feeling like he was neglected by his old papa, even though his pops just wanted what was better for him. Iwami saw it as disrespect, like he wasn't seen as strong enough. By this point, he had the Tojo under his thumb and disrespected the Triad in this game. He was basically top dog until he made one fatal slip, intentionally walking into the Dragon's Den. He was told by Daidoji to kill Kiryu and he will earn his place as a replacement for his father. Iwami tried to kill Kiryu in Hiroshima, but the Yakuza couldn't do it. He had set up a trap to kill him in Kamurocho, but Somiya sadly couldn't make the cut. Couldn't make the cut.
After Somiya's death and Kiyomi's death, Nagumo and Kiryu agreed to run a two-man assault on Iwami and Sugai's meeting spot at the port. This didn't pan out well, as the dastardly evil duo kidnapped Haruka and Haruto. In order to save them, Kiryu would have to die willingly for them, and if he tried anything funny, Haruka and the baby would have died. Should have fucking taken it if you asked me.
Sam, are you still on that Haruto thing?
Yes, fuck that little shit. Anyways, for some reason, both Iwami and Sugai didn't take this opportunity to kill Kiryu, but instead prolonged his execution to show how big their dicks were to Kiryu and everyone else watching. Iwami especially enjoyed this too. A little too much. Thankfully, the Onimichi boys came and saved the day, as they realized where Kiryu and Nagumo went. They were able to protect Haruka, so Kiryu got to work on Iwami.
The fight starts out with Kiryu disrespecting the absolute shit out of Iwami, calling him little baby Iwami. Kiryu is never really one to insult his opponent, but when he does, it is deserved. Iwami came in thinking he was that guy, so the fight starts out with a cinematic kind of reminiscent of Mine's, especially with the two coming to blows with kicks.
In terms of gameplay, it was honestly kind of disappointing since he was such a pushover. Hell, Koshimizu put up a better fight right before this one. But one thing this fight did well was make his beating so euphoric after everything he caused. He got Somiya killed, he got Hirose killed, the list can go on. But kidnapping Haruka and Haruto was a bitch move.
The mid-fight cinematic showed him getting really pissy that most of his attacks aren't having much of an effect on Kiryu. At the end of the fight, Iwami was crawling backwards like a bitch, begging Kiryu to give him a second to rest. Like, come on man, get the fuck up, be a man. At least Shibusawa had the balls to at least accept his potential death at the hands of Kiryu. Aizawa was a disappointment and he didn't fucking beg. Instead of accepting his loss, he tells Sugai to shoot Haruka.
Aside from Iwami being a disappointing fight, he was actually a very fitting final boss for this game, since it gave Kiryu some much needed insight about fathers and their children, like letting your child know how much you care for them, why exactly what you do, and maybe actually guide them because they might turn out like a whiny little nepo baby like Iwami.
We spent a good amount of time shitting on Iwami, but after giving it some thought, he is actually a very impactful villain in the grand scheme of things, despite not really being mentioned in later entries. Iwami laid out the groundwork for Yakuza 7, and Gaiden, and Infinite Wealth, mostly being a key factor for Kiryu's suffering and causing a lot of problems for actually everyone, essentially. Everything he did caused a domino effect. Failing to kill Kiryu, and the secret of Onimichi not being covered up made Kiryu enslave himself to the Daidoji organization, meaning that he had to go underground for the next 8 years, leading him into doing nothing but covert grunt work.
All that just they didn't kill his family. Iwami helped put the Yakuza in a rough spot, making them much easier to manipulate after getting a lot of their best men to die, leading to the downfall of the Tojo. Iwami, despite being the worst kind of person imaginable, made some huge steps forward plot-wise. Without him, Kiryu would have been chilling with his family again with the secret of Onimichi intact. Daigo would have been back in business after getting out of prison. The ramifications of this fight are why Iwami is higher on this list, not because of his character or his fight, but because he served as a good final boss, and the impact that left after his tantrum still affects the events that are happening in the later titles.
I guess he deserves the 9th spot.
Let's get to the next one.